December last year, Yeezy released more $20 items. Now this time was a little bit different. There was a lot more that they offered than the previous drop. Sweatpants, hoodies, t-shirts, windbreakers, slippers, sneakers, boots, etc. Now shockingly, no matter what the item was, everything was priced the exact same, just $20. So with all of this being the first real showcase of what independent Yeezy looks like without any other brands involved, today we're gonna find out if any of this is worth it. And I guess this brings me to the first big problem with independent Yeezy. That is basically just, as of right now, a lot of people feel like it's just a scam. Back when the website was selling all of this stuff, a ton of people actually made orders. People who really wanted this and just a bunch of people who were actually just curious. You know, what can go wrong? It's just $20. So of course the orders flooded in, but very shortly after, the website got shut down. It was Shopify themselves that actually pulled it from the internet. So as of right now, if you go to Yeezy.com, you're not going to see any of these products. You're just going to see a scribble iPad writing saying Yeezy stores coming soon.
Sure, Jan.
Now we'll see if that ever ends up happening, but considering how the website orders went, I'm not convinced. Now obviously with the website being shut down, at this point people had poured their money into it and received nothing. So a lot of people were just assuming that they just shut it down and took off with the money. Now thankfully it didn't get to that point where it was just this huge scam and people actually started receiving their orders. First came the clothing, no tracking or anything like that, just an undescript white bag left on your doorstep. Next came the slippers. People started receiving their shoes, but no boots and no sneakers. Now, these two products were arguably the most anticipated because boots and sneakers for $20 seems almost impossible. And maybe it actually is. Because now if you visit Reddit, you will see a flood of posts from people saying that their orders for these boots had actually shipped. Except what showed up was not the boots, it was just a pair of slippers. Now it's not just a couple posts, it's not a few random people that we have cherry picked. Like 0 people have actually received the boots that they ordered. They either received a shipment of the slippers in replacement or nothing at all. So as of right now, the boots and the sneakers don't actually exist, and I personally highly doubt that they ever will. Not only is it extremely tough to make a pair of boots or sneakers for $20 and sell to people, but given the new tariff situation, it makes it even more impossible than it already was. And honestly, that doesn't just go for the sneakers and the boots, that goes for the entire $20 line. I don't know if Yeezy could do this again. But hey, I've got a few packages, so let's see what we got. All right, so we got the packages here. I guess the best place to start is with the clothing. So like I said, I ordered this back in December, and then this turned up at my doorstep. Again, no notifications or tracking or anything like that, like traditional stuff when you order. Literally just turns up out of the blue, and this arrived, I think, a couple weeks ago. So let's say April. So yeah, extremely long shipping time, but that's across the board, that's for everyone. But I honestly wasn't even expecting it to turn up, so at least there's that. Also, not entirely sure what's in here because I ordered multiple different orders. So is this gonna be like the first one that I ordered? Okay, so you don't even really get a bag. All right, that is everything we ordered. Just comes like this. Right, so first item, we've got a hoodie. Now, what the hell size did I pick? Okay, thankfully you do get a little order note of what you got. You can also see what size. So I got a medium in everything. I don't know if they said that on the site, a size small to medium. So I'm assuming that's a 1. So apparently this is a size 1. This is a little bit different from what they previously dropped. So we got the black hoodie with some text on the front that says, no idea. I have no idea. This feels very similar to the first one, so extremely thin, except this time you do have like drawstrings for the hood, which just feel very standard. They're not even, I mean, one of them doesn't even have like the thing that goes at the end of a drawstring. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's just blank. So it doesn't have the aglet or whatever the tip thing is called, but you do get a pocket, which is something that's it's a new upgrade, I guess, from the originals, because that didn't have a pocket. There's loose stitching all over. It's, yeah, I mean, it feels like $20 maximum. It doesn't feel like much. It feels like basically the thinness of a t-shirt. We'll try this one on in a second, but let's see what else we got. Right, so next I'm assuming is the exact same thing, but in gray. Not a bad gray. It seems almost like a taupey gray. Same exact text, which I'm not entirely sure what it says. If you guys know, let me know down in the comments. Yeah, again, like fleece back, which feels soft, but overall very thin. 20 bucks, like I wouldn't be mad if I spent 20 bucks on this, at least just based off of the feel. Then we got the sweatpants. Okay, so these are definitely different to what I guess you ordered with the first one. These ones actually have pockets. That's a bit of a change. So you've got pockets, you've got a little elasticated toggle for the waistband, which is very thin. Like look at how thin that waistband is. You do have more of that text. Not entirely sure what it says, but it is printed on there. And you also have ankle cuffs, which is a little bit different. I think all of the other ones were wide leg. Fair. So pretty standard stuff. Again, 20 bucks for this. Like, okay, it kind of feels like exactly 20 bucks. No more, no less. This must be the nylon windbreaker jacket. I mean, just the fact that this comes in another bag is a pretty big step up. Oof, and you even get paper. Interesting. Okay, so here we have the windbreaker. I mean, it's pretty impressive for 20 bucks that you can actually get a windbreaker. Not that this is crazy quality or anything. It feels like the outer layer of a jacket that's supposed to have an inner layer, but it doesn't have the inner layer. So this is a full zip up, so you've got like the full length zip. It's plastic zips, so, well, the actual zip itself is metal, but the teeth are all plastic. Inside, yeah, like you can see, it's just one piece of material, and that is it, okay? And then you also get a graphic on the back. Again, not entirely sure what that is. Don't know if I wanna know. Okay, and then here we have the gray version, I'm assuming. Same exact thing, just in gray. Same branding, screen printed onto the back, definitely screen printed. You do get pockets, which is always good to have pockets, you know? Elasticated waist area, elasticated wristbands, not too bad. So again, all the same size for all of this. We'll try this on in a second, but of course we gotta get into the shoes. So we'll get into the shoes and then we'll try all of this on and see what we're dealing with. All right, so you'll notice these are in a box, and that's because these did not come from Yeezy.com. They came from Goat. That's right. I ordered them at the same time as all of this stuff, the slippers, whenever that was, December. They still haven't showed up, and I don't know if they ever will. I mean, I ordered the sneakers, the boots, I ordered all of it. I've just given up waiting on it. So I thought, since we got all of the rest of it, I might as well have just bought them on Goat. All right, so here we have them in a bag. So this is actually how they'll turn up from Yeezy, the website. It'll come in a shipping bag and then this little bag, just like how the Yeezy pods came in. Now, it will have the size. Now, this might not fit, is an important caveat. They're actually very small. I got a size 6. I'm normally a size UK 8, US 9, but everybody was saying that these things are massive, so I just went with a 6, and yeah, they're looking pretty small. Which one is right? Which one is left? Yeah, they're definitely this way. Okay, so at least they're not creased to hell like I've seen on like Reddit forums and stuff like that. Honestly, you know what? They don't feel as bad as I was expecting. Like I was expecting extremely cheap garbage, but I mean, this is still like, it's foam, but it has a texture to it, kind of like the Yeezy slides or the foam runners. It does have a thicker foam sole, but this is like, you know, if ChatGPT made a shoe design, I feel like this is what it would come up with. We're gonna try this all on and see how bad it is. Let's do it. Here we have it. So got the sweatpants on, got the hoodie on, and yeah, this is actually, I feel like worse fitting than the original ones. You know, what was it, like, I don't know, some kind of Russian text on the front. It's not the worst fitting, but it's super like loose and long at the bottom. The sweatpants have a weirdly long drop crotch. So like, I don't know, you can see the top of the sweatpants are here, and then the crotch is all the way down here. So, I mean, it's a look. It's like a bit strange, maybe makes it a little bit harder to walk around in, because as soon as I lift my leg here, it gets tight on the other leg. So a little bit annoying, but at least you have pockets. So there's that. For reference on sizing, everything I ordered is a size 1, which is small to medium, I think. And I'm typically a medium, but there you have it. It's very, very mid. Now let's try these bad boys on. So hopefully they fit a size 6. That's 2 or 3 sizes down from my regular. Damn, that's actually a perfect fit. Hey, they got grip though. They got grip. Oh my. Okay, like I said, perfect fit, but they're very tight around the toes. My foot can get in though, at least. Now you can see my white socks through there, which is a little bit, should have made it a little bit of a higher cut. If you're wondering, what do these feel like? Are they super comfortable? They feel exactly how they look. Surprisingly, for like one piece of foam, you've got some movement in there, which is not bad. They crease up a lot. That's not great. Would I pay $20 for this hoodie? No. Because I would pay $20 and I probably wouldn't wear it. It's kind of like, you know, I've seen some people say, well, it's just $20, but would you spend that $20 on that hoodie, or would you just save a little bit more and get something that's like $50, $60, would last a lot longer and look a little bit better? Probably. Now, I have owned the other one and I have worn that a few times, put it through the wash. It doesn't hold up very well. It starts looking bad after a few washes. So I assume that's exactly what's going to happen with this. So yes, it's just $20. Should you spend $20 on it? Personally, I wouldn't. Sweatpants are even worse in my opinion. I would not pay 20 bucks for these. Well, and also, what's up with the color difference? Like, this is black and this is like navy. Either way, let's try on the rest. All right, we got the gray hoodie now. Same exact thing, just, you know, different color. This is probably a lot easier to see, like how out of whack the sizing is. Like, if I had to like put a guess on what size this would be, probably a medium to large rather than a small to medium. For height reference, I'm 5'8". I'm, 73 to 5 kilos. Just doesn't look great. Right, now we have the windbreaker, which is surprisingly a very different fit. So I guess because it's elasticated on the waistband, it's not as like loose and kind of flary as the hoodies are. This actually sits at the waist really nicely. Honestly, this is not bad. Like a waterproof windbreaker jacket for 20 bucks. This might be the one thing of value that I've seen so far. You've got pockets. I would use this to like wash the car or something like that, do a little bit of gardening. It doesn't actually look that bad. If I'm being honest, this is not bad. For 20 bucks, this feels like your standard windbreaker. I guess there's not that much variation when it comes to a windbreaker. If you're looking for something that has that thin thing that you can throw on the top of like a hoodie or a t-shirt, this would achieve that. It's waterproof, it's nylon, it's not bad. Gray windbreaker, nice. Same exact thing as the black one. This is not bad at all. I'm very surprised at these windbreakers, to be honest. Like with the fit being this good and, you know, material being, I mean, it's standard like windbreaker material. I don't know how much variation you get in the nylon department. It's not like it's particularly comfortable or amazing, but I would feel this and I'd be like 50 bucks maybe. You know, I wouldn't be like 20. I think 20 would be like, wow, that's actually a little bit of a steal. I don't know how this is gonna like hold up over time. Everything looks good in terms of like construction and stuff like that. This is a little bit more on the impressive side for $20. Let me know what you think. In conclusion, is any of this actually worth it? I mean, it's definitely a little bit more of a subjective answer, because if you like the look of it, then maybe, but I do feel like specifically for the hoodies and the sweatpants, you could probably find better looking stuff, or at least comparable stuff for the same price tag. So it's not like they're completely giving you ridiculous value for that $20. In my opinion, not a big fan of how the hoodies look and feel. Same thing with the sweatpants. I just don't think that they're going, well, I know that they're not going to last very long, because I have owned stuff that feels exactly the same as this from the previous $20 Yeezy drop. Now the windbreakers, on the other hand, are actually pretty surprising. They're not bad at all. Again, not like you're getting anything crazy insane. It doesn't feel like a $100 windbreaker just for 20 bucks. It feels like about 20 bucks. Maybe 50, but it's not a bad look. They definitely changed the shape of this in comparison to the hoodies. And now for the SL01, or the Yeezy slipper shoes. These things are not great in my opinion. It does feel like maybe these were some kind of like drop shipping thing that Yeezy did with AliExpress or something. The design just feels so incredibly basic that it's just really hard to make them look good. They are super hot inside, and obviously there's no breathability, so you do feel like your feet are getting sweaty. I wore them around for a while to try and give them a fair shot. It's not like they're incredibly comfortable or anything. They weren't uncomfortable, but you still, you know, you're walking around on a a very thin layer of foam. Could you get better than this for $20? Probably. Like if you went on Temu, Shein, or AliExpress or something like that, you could probably find like actual foam shoes or slides that achieve the exact same thing for about the same price, just in plenty of different options when it comes to design. But this was all very interesting. Like I don't know if any of this stuff can exist now, considering all of the tariffs in the US and the logistics of selling something for $20, being Yeezy brand and how popular they were. I don't know if this is actually feasible anymore, so we might have just seen the last of this. It's also interesting to see like if this is independent Yeezy versus Yeezy and Adidas, like the gap is so large. Like those things were actually, you know, unique designs, great quality, super comfortable. And if this is what they're doing, like I know the price point, $20, it's hard to compare the two, but maybe that's the whole point of offering something for $20. It doesn't leave much room for aggressive critique, because at the end of the day, you can say all of the stuff about it, but if it's just $20, like there's only so much you can critique in that range. So maybe if they released a comparable pair of shoes or boots like they were planning, maybe we could have judged it a little bit better. But yeah, sizing's also really off with these. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and did you order any of this stuff? Did it ever turn up? And if it did, what are your thoughts? So that wraps it up, guys. Of course, if you want to catch another video or check out the past Yeezy collection, I'll pop 2 little videos in each corner. Check them out.